Right now on Up with Krem, tracking thunderstorms today. A dry lightning risk has prompted red flag warnings. I'll have the hour-by-hour breakdown on where these storms are headed.
I just want to assure you that plan is off the table.
The community of Medical Lake pushing against the city of Spokane for rumors of a new homeless shelter. How leaders of both sides are now responding. Plus, time is ticking down until we know who moves on in the Washington elections. A look at the key races and what to know if you have not cast your vote.
Up with Krem begins now.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is 6 a.m. here on your Monday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Up with Krem. I'm Channing Curtis.
Local, live, late breaking. West 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Hurricane Debby is in full force with its eye taking aim on the Sunshine State.
The storm has already caused damage for some parts of Central Florida as it heads straight now for the Big Bend area.
And we're bringing you live team coverage, taking you through this storm and the risks that you might see in your neighborhood. Good Monday morning. Thank you for starting it with the West 2 News Sunrise team. I'm Jason Guy.
And I'm Meredith McDonough. Hurricane Debby is inching closer and closer to Florida.
Debby makes landfall in Florida as a hurricane.
The eye itself has made its way onshore. Latest forecast.
Now, as winds begin to subside, the story is focused on water.
Which is why we still have that flood threat being on the high side.
We're already seeing some water rise in some of the areas of downtown Lake City.
This is First Coast News on your side at noon.
And here's a live look at the latest track for Debby right here at noon. The storm just downgraded to a tropical storm within the past hour, but the real story now is all that rain that's expected to swamp parts of the East Coast for several more days.
And this video just after sunrise out in Taylor County, Florida. The storm made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in the Big Bend just after 7 a.m.
And closer to home, this was the scene in San Marco as cars drove through a flooded intersection. We will have live looks across the area throughout the afternoon.
Well, thank you for joining us here for First Coast News at noon. I'm Katie Jeffries.
Welcome in. I'm Keitha Nelson. We do want to mention Mayor Donna Deegan will be speaking at right at about 12:05. Her as well as TK Waters, the sheriff here in Jacksonville. We're going to bring that to you live as it happens. But first, of course, we have meteorologist Robert Spetta and Lewis Turner standing by. They have the very latest for you at this hour.
ABC 7 News starts with First Alert Weather.
The Suncoast dealing with the effects of Debby now. Several crews activated, saving dozens of people.
Plus, almost everywhere you look, it's just more water. What you need to know to navigate around as the assessment and recovery processes begin.
Here is the latest. Debby is now back to a tropical storm after being a Category 1 hurricane.
Tracking Debby's destructive aftermath.
It was just shocking to see all of this flooded.
This tropical storm turned streets into streams in Manatee and Sarasota counties, leaving homes flooded.
And then just to have something like this, it's supposed to be really nothing. Turned out to be the biggest thing.
Plus, all across Tampa Bay, there were hundreds of calls for help to first responders, and some left wondering, how will they rebuild?
People are out here literally sitting on a bench with a backpack. That's all they got left.
And folks in one Pinellas County community are coming together to help each other.
Away from Florida, but hundreds of people across the Sunshine State are now left to deal with the devastating consequences of this storm. Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Tampa Bay Tonight After the Storm. I'm Wendy Ryan. Debby made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in Florida's Big Bend, creating dangerous conditions that led to 4 deaths.
Now at 11, Tropical Storm Debby is making its mark on the city of Savannah. Flood waters started rising in the Baldwin Park neighborhood hours ago. We're checking in on other problem areas. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 11. I'm Dawn Baker. The coastal Empire and Low Country area is still bracing for Tropical Storm Debby as it pushes northeast toward the Georgia coast. Excessive rainfall resulting in flash floods will impact the area well into tomorrow.
Live, local, late breaking. 13 News starts right now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for 13 News Live at 9. I'm Anna Orsini in for Rebecca Taylor. We're off to a very busy start so far this morning, and before we get to everything election related, we do want to start with your weather. Taking a live look outside, today is a First Alert Action Day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Reiser in for Vladimir Duthier. We are following breaking news. Vice President Kamala Harris has officially chosen Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate on the 2024 Democratic ticket. It comes after she clinched the Democratic nomination last night.
Breaking news now at midday. VP Kamala Harris just selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate in the race for the White House. We have live team coverage today. We're tracking this big announcement and the next steps.
And reaction, well, it's already pouring in. We're going to hear from both supporters applauding the move and Republicans already criticizing Governor Walz.
Plus, Wall Street rallying after the worst day in about 2 years. But there are still growing concerns about the state of the economy. So we're breaking down the changes experts think we can expect in the months ahead and the impact all of this could have on the state of the presidential race.
And one of the greatest racehorses in history was laid to rest here at Fort Snelling. We're going to take a look back at his storied life and the honor that lives on for him in this week's So Minnesota. Those stories and more right now on 5 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on this busy news day for 5 Eyewitness News at midday. I'm Leah McLean.
I'm Paul Folger. There's a lot going on, but we want to get to meteorologist Jonathan Uhas. He's got to check this forecast first, and it's a nice day after all that rain.
Right. It's a little different right now.
WCCO News starts now with breaking news.
Thank you for watching WCCO. I'm Shayla Reeves. Right now, we're monitoring breaking news into the WCCO newsroom. Governor Tim Walz is officially the running mate for Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris.
Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS 7 First Alert News at noon.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here at noon on this Tuesday. I'm Matthew Alvarez. The Democratic ticket is set. Vice President Kamala Harris has picked Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate.
You're watching KPVI News at 5 with Matt Davenport, Misty England, and East Idaho's chief meteorologist Doug Iverson. KPVI News at 5, news that works for you.
Live 5 News begins now. Tracking Debby.
We want to thank you for joining us tonight. The low country is picking up and readying for more rain and wind as tropical storm Debby moves off coast, but she'll be back. If you think back to the same time last night, we were busy monitoring several tornado warnings in our area.
Live from ABC News 4 in Charleston, this is ABC News 4 at 5.
Taking a live look outside tonight at 5, we are getting another downpour from Debby. We have team coverage for you tonight across the low country, but we of course want to start things off with Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams. Dave, what do we need to know as we head into our second, or is it third, Storm Tracker Day at this point? I've lost count, but this is all crucial because we are still under those Storm Tracker days.
Yeah, and it is a Storm Tracker Day.
Debby doing damage. The power of water tearing through the low country as they shift to the next phase of the storm.
We are in the second act of a 3-act play.
And South Carolina is the stage. Tonight, business picking up again in the Palmetto State, and it has South Carolina officials putting even more hands on deck from the Midlands to the PD.
And here we go, more rain moving through the Midlands at this hour. I'll let you know when it's going to arrive in Columbia and how long it's going to stick around coming up.
Plus, cleanup and recovery. That's the next part of this weather event for some parts of the state, while others still brace for even more. The news at 10 starts now.
Live from the Fox Studios in Columbia, it's Watch Fox News at 10, local first.
Well, tonight we're tracking Tropical Storm Debby as it crashes back into the Carolinas. This was late today. Strong waves, wind, rain pounding Wrightsville Beach in North Carolina.
Tonight on ABC Columbia News at 11, rain, wind, floods, and John is tracking the latest in Debby's path across our state. Plus, back to school gets pushed back for some Midland school districts. We'll have the very latest on closings. And Chief Meteorologist John Farley, he has a look at a nice sunny day ahead. Find out which one it is, though. ABC Columbia News at 11 starts right now.
This is ABC Columbia News at 11, at home in the Midlands.
Coming up, summer for kids around North Central West Virginia is coming to an end. See how folks throughout the region are getting the youth ready to be back in the classroom.
And rain showers starting to depart tonight, but more will be on the way as a result of Tropical Storm Debby. We'll take a look at what you can expect tomorrow coming up.
Live from Television Drive, this is 5 News, North Central West Virginia's news station.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 5 News at 11. I'm Dante Setofanti. Thank you for joining us.
Eyewitness News at 11 starts right now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight, 11 o'clock. Doug, depending on where people live here in our region, they got a little bit of rain, and it was much needed.